We're going to bring in our legal team, ABC's Chief Legal Affairs anchor, Dan Abrams, here in the studio with us, and Nancy Grace, host of Nancy Grace on HLN, joining us there in Atlanta. Good morning.
Good morning.
To you both. We heard in Matt's report about the former police officer and being grilled about mishandling the evidence. How damaging is this?
Well, some of it really matters and some of it doesn't really matter. Meaning, I'm not as concerned with these allegations of were certain pieces of evidence held in the evidence locker versus somewhere else, etc. That's less significant to me than the allegations that evidence may have been moved before it was photographed. Why is that important? Because it will either back up or undermine Oscar Pistorius' own account. The key to this case is Oscar Pistorius' story, what he says happened and how it happened. And part of the way that you can determine is he telling the truth is based on where certain pieces of evidence were found. And if that evidence was moved before it was photographed, as the defense is now alleging, that's a big point for the defense.
And how do you feel about that, Nancy? Because some people were taken aback when the former police officer is saying, yeah, we may have stolen a couple of his watches. Big deal or not?
Well, it's a double-edged sword, and here's my reasoning. Dan is right in the sense that if one of these police officers, who I might add were all body searched after they left Pistorius' home for the watch, it was several $1,000s watch. If they stole, that casts a pale and a pall on the entire police investigation, much as we saw in O.J. Simpson. As Dan said, it doesn't matter where the evidence was stored, but you lose faith in the police. And the law is, if you lose credibility in one witness in part of their testimony, you can throw out all of their testimony. It does not affect the fact that Pistorius says he pulled the trigger and his recounting of the events, but it does cast a pall on the entire police investigation. What I found to be very interesting is you've got Pistorius buying a slew of guns, up 4 or 6 guns just before her death, including an LN6 civilian assault rifle, which goes into his frame of mind.
So in general, Nancy, here we are heading into the 3rd week of this trial. If you are the prosecution, how confident are you right now, or not?
Well, you know, after O.J. Simpson and after Top Mom, I would never be comfortable going into closing arguments. And remember, this is a judge case, not a jury. They haven't had juries there in years. I would be very concerned because Pistorius has been vomiting in court when he sees photos of the crime scene. He has been extremely charming to the judge. And if a trier of fact likes the defendant, they will see the evidence in a certain light.
Yeah, I give the judge a little more credit than that. I think that the prosecution, regardless of exactly how the case is going in terms of pieces of evidence, etc., you've got the fundamentals, which is he shot her in his own home numerous times. And number 2, you've got the fact that there are these ear witnesses who heard an argument. If there was an argument followed by the shooting, it is hard to see how the judge does not convict. And as a result, I think that no matter what
another thing that just came out this morning was that he had to walk by her side of the bed to get to the bathroom. He had to see she wasn't lying there.
Which is one of the most important points.
And you're both in agreement that we are going to hear from him. He is going to testify.
I think so. I think he's going to testify.
Nancy?
Oh, and he's going to cry and vomit and carry on the stand. Count on it.
All right. Nancy Grace, as always, thanks so much. Dan, appreciate it as well.